Here are the 8 that have made it through to the women's floor final, the last event in women's artistic gymnastics at this World Challenge Cup in Bulgaria. And who will take the last title?
Representing Norway, Ronbeck.
Maria Ronbeck of Norway, team bronze medalist at the Northern European Championships last year. Switzerland's Kiara Jubilini from the famous Swiss Jubilini gymnastics dynasty. Madison Hajjar from Canada, bronze, or third best I should say in qualification. Lorena Medina of Spain, 5th best in qualification. Jessica Dowling of Canada, the 7th best in qualification and World Challenge Cup medalist from last year. Silane Miel of France, the top qualifier. Exciting to see her competing here. Emma Ross of Australia, 2nd best in qualification. Daria Hartman of Switzerland, the reigning national champion on floor. So the warm-up time for these gymnasts. Now, from a scoring perspective, the top was Miel with 13.133. That's the only 13-plus score in qualification. So she's got a very good chance here, the French athlete. Emma Ross was the 2nd best. In this final, we're going to see the 3rd and 4th strongest qualifiers in the first half, and the 1st and 2nd in the second half. Madison Hajjar, we're just looking at there, the 15-year-old World Challenge Cup debutant. And all of this happening in the setting of Varna, an ancient Black Sea settlement. Incredible history it's got, architecturally and also with archaeological finds going all the way back through antiquity.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Norway, Ronbeck.
Maria Ronbeck of Norway, the 18-year-old from Oslo, the Lørenskog suburb, 8th best in qualification. The first performance in this final coming from Maria Ronbeck of Norway. Nice display. She engages very well with the choice of orchestration. The gymnast who made her European Championship debut last month, having competed at the World Championships in Kitakyushu in 2021. Let's have a look back at this performance from Maria Ronbeck. The 18-year-old with a score of 12.066 in qualification. It's her second World Cup event. She made the balance beam final in Cairo, where she was 6th. She has been the junior all-around national champion, Ronbeck. And her score is 12.233. A little more difficulty and a little more execution than in qualification. Now to Kiara Jubilini from Switzerland, 4th best in the preliminary round with a score of 12.366. Kiara Jubilini from Switzerland. I tell you, when you've got the Jubilini surname in Swiss gymnastics, it's like wearing a powerful amulet. It's a sort of talismanic thing. It's such a great name. Daniel, father of Kiara, won the parallel bars title in 1990 at the European Championships. He was the opening ceremony flag bearer at the Barcelona Olympics. And Luca, some of you may remember, was competing for the men's team not so long ago. the gymnast from the north of Switzerland in Aarau. Doesn't tend to perform on the uneven bars. She says she's learned about keeping calm from her dad. Her score 12.166, so she's down by 2/10 from qualification, which means that Ronbeck is still in the lead. Now we look at Madison Hajjar from Canada, the third best in qualification. The 15-year-old makes her World Challenge Cup debut. How nice to see Madison Hajjar of Canada in World Challenge Cup competition. She was a top 10 performer at the National Championships in the all-around competition this year. She's the recipient of a George Rush St. Pierre Foundation Scholarship. I'm sure many of you know George St. Pierre from the world of mixed martial arts and the UFC. Madison Hajjar with a score of 12.833. Well done to her. She improves upon her qualification display by 2/10, and that is potentially a medal-winning display. Could even win the whole thing. Lorena Medina from Spain, the fifth best in qualification, all-around bronze medalist at last year's National Championships. Lorena Medina, who made her senior European Championship debut last year in the Spanish team. She's from the Barcelona area. And this is the second time we've seen her in World Cup floor competition after making the final in Paris last year. Let's have a look back at this performance. This is the last score to come in before the halfway mark of the competition. The gymnasts still to come, warming up as we speak. .333, an improvement by a single tenth from qualification. So far, 3 of the 4 gymnasts that have gone have improved upon their qualification performance. Ronbeck, Madison Hajjar and Lorena Medina. So that's made for a challenge thrown down, particularly that score of Madison Hajjar's to the rest of the competitors. And we're about to continue with this women's floor final now. Next, the graduate of the University of Guelph in Ontario.
Representing Canada, Jessica Dowling.
Canada's Jessica Dowling, 7th best in qualification, but with a .2 penalty. 12.1 her preliminary round score. A gymnast who's had some really nice floor routines over the years, Jessica Dowling, former Dutch international competitor, now a part of the Canadian team, based at Kitchener-Waterloo Gymnastics Club in Ontario. Works as an academic tutor when she's not competing and training as a gymnast. And a reminder of this musical display from Jessica Dowling. 12.033 for Jessica Dowling. Half the penalties from qualification, but just a small drop of less than a tenth.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Now to the top qualifier.
Silane Miel.
Silane Miel, the 17-year-old from near Grenoble. It's a memorable and idiosyncratic routine, and Silane Miel performs it with some very strong tumbling work. She's made a good case for herself here, the gymnast who is so new to international competition. She was part of the squad at the European Championships, but only performing on the uneven bars. Good layout work. It was well performed technically. Now, what will the number be for Silane Miel? The gymnast who goes into the lead with 12.933, just a tenth ahead of Madison Hajjar. And she's guaranteed her first World Cup medal. We have only two left. From Australia, Emma Ross, the second best performer in qualification. Great to see the 16-year-old Emma Ross from East Melbourne in this final as the second best performer in qualification. It's been a really difficult time recently in Australian gymnastics with the serious injury to a wonderful young gymnast called Ava Costa, who was injured in training. And Australian women's gymnastics has been really in the forefront of a lot of people's minds of late, courtesy of the Walking with Ava Foundation. It's easy to find on social media if you would like to look it up. And obviously the best wishes of all in the international gymnastics community stay with young Ava Costa. What a nice performance this was from Emma Ross. Limited international experience, but looking at home in a World Challenge Cup final. Now Emma Ross scored 12.7 in the preliminary round. Something close to that would have her on the podium with one to go. 12.566, it does just the job. So Emma Ross in the bronze medal position. Lorena Medina moves down into fourth place. Leading the way, Silane Miel, then Madison Hajjar, they're guaranteed medals. Now we wait to see what Daria Hartman can do. She's the reigning Swiss champion on floor. And that concludes this women's floor final. Daria Hartman of Switzerland joining her teammate Kiara Jubilini in the final. She's made her senior international debut this weekend. Let's have a look back at her work on floor. New experiences for Daria Hartman. It's quite an intense process, the World Challenge Cup. 2 days of qualification, 2 days of finals. 12.1 her score in qualification. It's 12 in the final. And so that means that we're at the conclusion of this women's floor competition. And some memorable moments here for three gymnasts, all of whom have just won their first ever World Cup medals. What a great result that is for these gymnasts from Australia, Canada and France respectively. And we'll bring you the classified results just as soon as we can. The classified results in the women's floor competition. The bronze medal to Emma Ross of Australia, silver to Canada's Madison Hajjar, and the title won by Silane Miel of France. All three of those athletes winning their first ever World Cup honours. Now it's time for the victory ceremony for the women's floor competition. Not used to being on the podium.
Third place and bronze medal representing Australia, Emma Ross.
Congratulations to Australia's Emma Ross, the bronze medalist. And all of that accomplished in her World Cup debut.
Second place and silver medal representing Canada, Madison Hajjar.
Madison Hajjar of Canada, the silver medalist. A brilliant World Cup debut for the 15-year-old from Montreal.
And first place in gold medal representing France, Silane Miel.
Silane Miel of France is the champion. She came in as the top qualifier and delivered a very high quality performance. Some excellent tumbling at the heart of this display. She's a hard-working and disciplined young gymnast, and now she is a World Challenge Cup champion.
Second place awards, FIG Technical Delegate Lario.
Второ място награждава техническия делегат на ФИГ Хелена Ларио.
And first place awards, President of Bulgaria.
And in just a moment we will hear the national anthem of France.
Първо място награждава председателката на техническия комитет за жени за България Цветана Добрева.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise up for the national anthem of France. Huge applause for the athletes and Marshall.
The medalists in the women's floor competition at the FIG World Challenge Cup in Varna, Bulgaria. Always handy to have one of those in your pocket. All of them first-time medalists in World Cup competition.